Are you just starting out and feel overwhelmed by all the branding advice out there? Today, I'm breaking down the first 5 crucial branding investment for your small business, and more importantly, I will show you where you should splurge and where you can save money without compromising on quality. Branding is one of the most important things you can do to set your business apart, but it doesn't mean you have to spend a fortune on fancy gimmicks. I will show you where exactly you should put your money depending on the type of the business that you want to build. Brand strategy isn't just a nice to have, it's a backbone of every business decision that you will make. It's like your business GPS, keeping you from wandering in random, desperate marketing tactics that usually bring more chaos than benefit. Without it, you are basically a lost tourist that is hoping to find a way to the destination they want to go to. It might happen, but it will cause you a headache. So, strong brand strategy clarifies your mission, so your reason to exist, your values, what you stand for, your audience, so who you serve, who is your target demographic, your positioning, so why are you different and where you fit in the wider market, and your messaging, so what and how you are communicating. If you're gonna skip those steps, you will end up in like throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks kind of strategy, and trust me, it's a recipe for a failure and burnout. Look at Nike. Nike isn't just a shoe company. They built empire on focusing on a core belief that if you have a body, you already are an athlete. Their mission is to bring innovation and inspiration to every athlete in the world. Their positioning, they are not just selling shoes, they are selling motivation. Their message, just do it. It's very simple, short, emotional, and unforgettable. And because they nailed their strategy first, every campaign, sponsorship, product, every decision that they make feels like a natural extension, not just a random marketing stunt. So, before you even think about designing a logo or launching a website, get your foundations right. So, where you should put your money. Hire a brand strategist or a business consultant. It can be a true game changer. Why? Because clarity is priceless. It will take you so much time and money if you're gonna try to figure out yourself. A great strategist will help you define your brand in a way that attracts the right people. Small brands that work with strategists often find their audience engagement skyrocket, not because they change what they do, but because they finally know how to talk about this. The next thing I would advise you to invest in is research your competition and customer insights. Depending on the scope of work that you agreed on, your brand strategies can do it for you, or you can do it yourself by investing in marketing research tools or customer surveys to actually understand your audience. And that knowledge will help you better understand them, know them better, and therefore you'll be able to adjust your offer to their needs. For example, Starbucks didn't become a coffee empire just by selling coffee. They studied customer behavior and positioned themselves as third place between home and work. So, where you can save money, well, you definitely don't need to spend $20,000 or $50,000 on luxurious branding retreat to figure out your brand strategy. Well, unless you have a lot of money and you simply enjoy sipping overpriced lattes while staring at mood boards. In addition to working with brand strategies, you can also use free tools. For example, Google Trends to see what people are searching for, social media polls if you already have certain social following, and this will allow you to get a quick feedback from your audience and it will boost engagement on your social media at the same time. You can go to Reddit or Quora to see real conversations in your niche, and you can look at competitors' reviews to get the feeling what the market wants, what works for your competitors and what doesn't. For example, Airbnb started by actually taking time and talking to their early users, not by hiring a fancy firm to do the research for them. They visited hosts, asked questions, and tweaked their messaging based on real feedback. Cheap? Yes. Effective? Very. Visual identity. And for most people, this is what branding limits to, but that's a topic for another video. Your visual identity is the first thing that people will notice and, let's be real, judge. And depending on the type of business and the type of brand you want to build, you will need different assets. So I'll go quickly through all of them and then I will tell you what you need depending on the type of your business. So first of all, we have a logo, which is going to be the face of your brand. Then we have a color palette that will allow you to set a mood and energy that you want to portray. Typography, this is the set of fonts that will set a tone. Then you have graphics, so it will be anything from patterns, packaging design, even infographics if you use them to communicate with your audience. And lastly, we have a photo style. So you can have a distinctive photography style that will set you apart from your competitors. If you are building a product-based brand, you will need all of those elements. But if you are building a personal brand, for example, you are a hairdresser that is doing services at clients' homes, I don't think the logo is a crucial investment. At the beginning, your face could be your logo, and if you're gonna grow your business and hire staff, then you can invest money into logo design, but start with a nice profile picture. And also, you don't need to pay money for someone to design typography for you. As long as you're gonna be consistent and the fonts that you're gonna choose are easy to read, you're fine. In building personal brand, I think consistent messaging is way more important than any visual assets. If I will have to choose one, I would definitely recommend to work on your photography or video style. You can have small elements of branding in it. It can be as simple as photography style or certain tones that you're gonna use in your photos or certain colors. In my example, my main brand color is white, so I try to take photos and film videos in white settings. Just look at Apple. Ever wonder why people are willing to drop a serious dollars on Apple products? Even when cheaper alternatives exist, it's not just about the tech solutions, it's about branding. Apple's visual identity is clear, modern, and insanely recognizable. Everything from the logo to website to packaging feels premium and is consistent. Apple color palette is sleek, neutral, and it screams high-end. The typography is simple, sans serif, and a little bit futuristic, very suitable for a tech company. And their packaging, it simply deserves an unboxing video. So how you should divide your visual identity budget? Well, I would say the most important thing is gonna be your videos and photography, because regardless of the type of the business you are building, you're gonna need a high quality photos and videos for basically everything from social media to your website to print assets. And it doesn't mean that you have to hire a professional photographer. If you have a budget, that's perfect, you can do it. But I would definitely recommend to invest in proper equipment. Luckily, nowadays, most of us have a great camera already in the pocket, so I would definitely recommend to get one of the latest iPhones. Then invest in proper lighting, because the camera can only take you so far. The light is the most important thing. So if you have a good lighting, even the medium quality camera can produce high quality image. And if you have terrible light conditions, even the latest iPhone will not save you. Then invest in tripod so your phone can actually stand still. And if you are thinking about producing a lot of talking head videos, then I would also recommend to invest in good mic because the audio quality can be more important than a video quality. And as far as graphic asset goes, including logo, pattern, etc., there are three main ways that you can go. If you have a budget, I would definitely recommend to hire a pro designer because not only they will deliver a high quality work, but will be also able to advise you on the things that you didn't thought of. And my personal recommendations are Will, CJ, and Abby. Second way, if you have a creative bone, you can design those assets yourself. You can use Canva or one of many AI logo designer apps. But if you feel this task is not for you and you have limited budget, then you can go to sites like Fiverr Pro, Upwork, 99 Designs, and find a cheaper designer over there, but be very clear in your brief what are your expectations, what you need. Just make sure that you will check designers' previous work and reviews to avoid any disappointment. And whichever of those three routes you're gonna take, make sure that all of your brand elements are consistent. For colors, I would definitely recommend to use color codes. For example, Hex, that is my go-to for online design because it is available in professional software and beginner-friendly apps like Canva. Then have typography rules. The designer that you're gonna hire should deliver you a certain set of fonts that you will use for body, for title, pop-ups, highlights, etc. But if you're doing it yourself and you are not sure about choosing a very specific font, especially that we have a different fonts on Instagram, Canva, and other apps, then you can create a baseline starting point descriptions. For example, that it's gonna be clear, thin, sans serif font. Then you need your logo variations. Next to your full logo, you may need a simplified version, icon, wordmark, and monochrome. And don't sleep on monochrome. It is important to have the black and white version of your logo and make sure that it's clear and readable. And this monochrome version you can use whenever you're gonna do engraving, stamps, or any other product marking technique that doesn't deliver color or shading. So where you can save money? Well, like I said before, if you don't have a budget for a pro designer, go to Fiverr, Upwork, or 99 Designs to hire a less experienced designer for less. Or you can use free or cheap tools to create all your visual brand assets yourself. Canva is gonna be great for most of your design needs, including logo. Colors, spelled with two O's, will help you pick a color palette. Google Fonts and FontJoy or DaFont can help you find professionally looking typography and pairings. And you can use Upsplash or Pexels for high quality stock images. Website or landing page. A good website converts visitors into customers. Bad one? Well, it makes people bounce faster than on bad Tinder date. So what are the elements of good website? First of all, it should clearly explain what you do and who you can help. Second, it should clearly guide visitors toward action. For example, buy, book, subscribe, depending on your business. It should also look great on mobile because let's be real, we are on our phones all the time. And lastly, it should load fast. Let's have a look at Glossier that went from a beauty blog to a billion-dollar brand, and their website strategy was a key player in this glow up. Here are the things that you can learn from Glossier website. Clean, minimal design wins. There's no clutter, just products that shine. Strong brand voice. It feels like bestie giving you a skincare advice, not a corporate sales speech. User-generated content everywhere. Real customers, photos, reviews that build trust. Simple and clean navigation that helps customers get where they want to and convert into sales. Key takeaway here is that your website should feel effortless. No one wants to figure out confusing site and spend a lot of time trying to find what they are looking for. So where you should put your money? Well, definitely into reliable hosting and user-friendly platforms. If you don't want to hire IT team, the site should be very easy to manage. If you are e-commerce brand, I would definitely recommend Shopify. They have really affordable plans and you can scale your business with them. If you have a service-based business, then I would recommend to go for Squarespace or Wix. It's very user-friendly and they have plenty of templates that you can easily customize yourself, and they have AI solution and they constantly are delivering new tools. What I would definitely avoid is those super cheap $20 a year website builders. I'm not gonna put any names here, but basically I'm talking about companies that offer like 5 templates that you can barely customize, and all the brands there end up looking exactly the same, and the functionality, well, let's just say, is far from perfect. Next important thing is your SEO setup, so people can actually find you. SEO isn't just a fancy term for big companies, it's how your site show up in Google or other search results. And here are a few quick SEO wins. Use relevant keywords in your headlines and copy. So, for example, instead of "Welcome to my brand website," say "Best vegan lipstick brand for sensitive skin." Next, optimize images for fast loading, and also make sure that you describe those images so they can appear in Google as well. Make your URLs clean and readable. No weird things like page 95780 hashtag whatever. Just put a real name. For example, your brand name slash catering services. And lastly, have a FAQ section. Google's loves this. And actually, that reminds me that I need to add this to my own website. So where you can save money? Well, definitely you don't need a custom coded website from day one, or basically ever. You don't need to spend 10K or even more on custom built website. The solutions that Squarespace, Wix, or Shopify deliver, and the templates that you can find there, are good enough for a starting business or even $1 million company. As much as I believe that a good copywriter can do wonders for your website, your products or services descriptions, if you don't have a budget, you can do it yourself. You can start with AI tools like ChatGPT, but make sure that you will rewrite this in your own human language so it will feel more natural. Avoid any jargon that is not understandable by your potential clients. Use short and punchy sentences, and make sure that your CTAs, call to actions, are obvious, like stupidly obvious. Shop now, book a call, subscribe now. It works better if it's more simple and more direct. And my final tip on website is to make sure that it is suitable for mobile. Around 80% of people will visit your website on their phone, so you have to make sure that it loads really fast, the text is big enough to read without zooming, and the buttons are big enough so customers can easily click on them. Great example is Fenty Beauty website that is mobile first, meaning it's designed for small screens first and then scaled up. Their mobile UX is flawless. You have big buttons, clear CTAs, and fast loading time. So make sure that your website is your salesperson that works for you 24/7. Brand photography and content. You have to know that brand photography is more than just a nice picture. It's a visual storytelling of your brand. Your images can tell people what you sell. You can use product shots or services in action. What you stand for. This showcase your brand personality, aesthetics, and whether people can trust you. Quality visuals equals professional brand. If your visuals are blurry, inconsistent, and feel random, people subconsciously assume your brand isn't legit. So don't let bad photography cost you sales. The great example here is a multi-billion-dollar empire built by Kim K. Her brands have consistent photography, content, and overall branding, not only as the standalone brands, but all her brands feels like they belong to the same person. So we have neutral tones across all the brands, from lingerie, skincare, makeup, and fragrance. We have diverse, relatable models, especially for schemes that is showcasing real bodies and therefore is appealing to wider audience. Consistent editing style. It makes IG feed and website look seamless. So my key takeaway from Kim K is that your visuals should feel intentional. Whether your brand is in luxury market or it's a budget-friendly brand, the consistency builds trust. So where you should spend your money. If you sell physical products, you absolutely need a high quality photos. One solid photo shoot can give you a month of content, and you will use it for your website, e-commerce listing, social media, and any other marketing materials like ads, banners, packaging, you name it. If you cannot afford a photographer, you can rent a good camera and lighting for a day or two and make the shoot yourself. So where you can save your money, if you have small to medium products, you definitely don't need to hire an expensive studio. You can shoot products in your home in a proper arrangement. You can take advantage of natural light if you have plenty of it, but if you live in a region that is dark and gloomy, then definitely I would recommend to have at least two proper light sources. And you need a simple backdrop. It can be plain white, or you can use boards painted in your brand colors. You can use natural textures like wood, sand, marble, stone, you name it. Or you can use different places in your house as long as they are matching your brand aesthetic. Product photography doesn't have to be expensive, and there are plenty examples of brands that are using DIY style photography and they are making a lot of sales. If you are doing product photography or creating content yourself, there are a few apps that are very useful. Lightroom is great for editing photos. CapCut is amazing for video editing. Snapseed will allow you to color correct like a pro. And Canva will be great for adding text or graphics. What is marketing collateral? Basically, it's everything that represents your brand offline, from business cards to packaging to promo materials. This stuff may seem small, but it's the difference between being remembered and being thrown into the trash, literally. Your print materials should feel premium, match your visual identity, and have a purpose, meaning every item should drive action, like buy, book, visit, share, subscribe, etc. And for every product-based business, I think the packaging should be a priority. If I remember the brand name correctly, be something clothing, they've nailed packaging. They took it to the next level and then beyond. They sell t-shirts in a sleek tin cans that are giving those retro can goods vibes. It's not a packaging, it's an experience. Why this works? First of all, is unforgettable unboxing experience. Second is social media gold. It's so unique that people just want to share this on their own. And lastly, it's brand storytelling. It aligns with a narrative of freshness and innovation. And my key takeaway from Be Something Clothing is that your packaging should be so dope that it will make customers snap a pic and share it. And I believe that a unique high quality packaging is where you should put your money. Even if you cannot afford something so outstanding and unique like tin can for t-shirts, there are ways to make your packaging more memorable. You can include a handwritten note or a bonus sticker or like a little goodie. Use high quality materials for your packaging. You can use, for example, something eco-friendly or the paper that is infused in seeds. I made a video about this, so I'm gonna link this in the description box. And make sure you will do your best to make your packaging Instagrammable. If people will want to share it, you are winning a free social media reach. So where you can save money? Well, definitely I would say hard pass to printing massive batches of brochures. It's a waste of money and natural resources. Instead, I would recommend to print a visually pleasing postcard with QR code that your clients can scan and they will be directed to your website or to your social media. It's way cheaper and more dynamic because you can change the information on the website just like that. And also make sure that you will always get a sample of the print first. It can save you so much money because things might look a little bit different on the screen or in your head than it will actually look in real life. So it is really important to order a sample first so you can check the color accuracy, the quality of paper, the finishing details, so you will be sure that you are approving the final product that you want. Remember, a strong brand isn't about spending the most money, it's about spending it wisely. So now I want to hear from you, where do you plan to invest in your brand next?